Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another episode of the Just Sing podcast. Today, I want to talk about a topic that is kind of, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's overused, but I feel like it's misunderstood because there's only one side that's constantly used and talked about on a regular basis. Um, and this particular topic is manifesting, you know, and it came to me today because, periodically, social media, well, especially Facebook will put your memories up, and it posted a memory um, of something that I said, in 2014. It's crazy because it's like, if you heard the 100th episode, you know why I'm saying that. But it posted a memory from 2014, and basically when I was basically saying that like, there would come a time when like, the person that I'm supposed to be with, like we're gonna cross paths, like we're gonna look into each other's eyes and kind of just know. But it was like, will we be ready for each other? Like, will we be able to recognize each other? Like, will I be in a relationship? Will she be in a relationship? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the situation? How's it gonna play out? So, you know, um, I reposted it, and as I'm developing my caption, I started to realize I was like, yo, I said I can't wait to thank her in person, for manifesting me. So it kind of led me to think about it because it's like we always talk about manifesting, you know, as people. We always talk about, manifesting things, manifest this, manifest that, I got to do this, I got to do that. Um, but one thing we really don't really consider or speak about much, in my opinion, is being manifested, you know, being manifested. And it, just that thought alone just kind of put into perspective, like, I see so many people wonder why certain things happen to them, why certain things go a certain way for them. And it's like, yo, I ain't do this or I ain't do that. But it's like, what if that is not a part of the life you're manifesting, but a part of the life that you're manifested for? You dig what I'm saying? And it kind of just changed my perspective a little bit. So I kind of wanted to, I don't have any structure with this because the thoughts are just flowing right now because it's an impromptu, you know how to get down. But I kind of want to just put that into perspective and go from that other side. Like, when why don't we ever truly acknowledge that we're being manifested? We always talk about, I'm trying to manifest this life, I'm trying to manifest this life, I'm trying to manifest this life. And we rarely acknowledge that somebody somewhere is manifesting too. And the life that they're manifesting has to coalesce with ours at some point. You feel what I'm saying? And do we really pay attention to the things that are part of not our own manifestations, but an extension of us being manifested by something? You feel what I'm saying? How do we maneuver through that? How do we even acknowledge that? Do we even acknowledge that? You know? So I just kind of wanted to talk about it because, like I said, in thinking about just whatever, just from that perspective, because as I was rereading that memory, I'm like, damn, bro, and then considering that I'm just coming off of that episode, the 100th episode, talking about, quote unquote, being woke in 2014, how that being the time when I changed, and me making that statement when I was in that 2014 year. It's like, I was so busy worrying about the manifestations that I was doing that I wasn't really paying attention to the fuel that I was given from somebody who's manifesting me. And it's like, damn, what, like, what kind of, and it just put it into perspective because I'm like, if this person decided that they wanted to manifest me and this is what I become, like, this is some amazing shit. But it's like, in addition to that, what am I connected to? Because I'm equally manifesting this person. And if our union, just off of the sole fact that we're manifesting for the same common goal, the same end goal, is pushing us to these heights, then some amazing shit is occurring. So I want to speak on that from multiple perspectives because it's like, why don't we ever really talk about that? Why is that side not really spoken on? But I'm not gonna hop in right now. As always, we got to take a break. But before we do, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_scene_. Be sure to check out my website at iamjustsing.com. To all who tip, sponsor, and donate, thank you so much. You are greatly appreciated. If you would like to tip, sponsor, and donate, you could do so by clicking the description of your podcast. The Cash App and PayPal is just fine. All mediums work. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this intro. But I really want to hop straight into it. And we're gonna call this Impromptu Pop-Ups. I don't remember which number, but it's gonna be Impromptu Pop-Ups, and it's gonna be called Being Manifested. So yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna hop back into the Impromptu Pop-Ups, Being Manifested. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the Soul Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right, welcome back. And without further ado, we're going to get started. So yeah, like, it's kind of one of those things like, I kind of wake up with thoughts sometimes. I kind of, get inspired by certain things, and I kind of remember certain places I was in. But, in, I guess a lot of times in the culture, we get wrapped up in, manifesting. Everybody tells you, you got to manifest that shit. But sometimes you need to acknowledge that you're being manifested. You're being actively manifested right now, and it has to coalesce, and not only coalesce, but coincide with what you're manifesting. You feel me? So one of the things that I realized that in my growth and in my development, I'm starting to see different pinnacles and different pieces of life that I probably otherwise would not have reached. Yeah, I set goals. Yeah, I set visions. Yeah, I set things like that. But there's an unseen force that, it's kind of like, what is it doing for me? You know what I'm saying? And at this point, I'm not just talking about the unseen force as far as, the universe, God, Allah, Jehovah, Yeshua, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna. I'm not talking about that. But there is actively somebody's life who you're supposed to be a part of. You feel me? There's somebody's life. Like my personal life path, I'm supposed to be a part of multiple lives. But as far as the intimate, solid, this is the motherfuckers who's going, give me my babies. Give me the babies that I'm looking for. You feel what I'm saying? They have the unseen side that I can't prepare for, that's going to kind of like, bam, guide me in. And that's the part of me being manifested. So in the things that I'm manifesting, right? And the reason why I'm putting this into perspective, because it's like, when I think about it, for years I've talked about, manifest this, manifest that. I'm a manifestor, alchemy, and all of that shit, right? But I began to think, and I began to look like every time I decided to say something, I would align with a certain type of woman. Now, I'm speaking on this solely from relationships perspective, right? But you can apply it to any jobs, all kind of shit, because I'm going to use different things. But like, when you're looking at how certain things align, it is we call it divine alignment, divine alignment, divine timing. But we don't really pay attention to, and I rarely see, if I ever see anybody speak on the duality, because there's a duality for everything. What is the duality for divine timing? I get it. We have one side where we're like, okay, I put in the work so that when this happened, bam, it worked. But then it's like, at the other point, it's like, what about something putting in the work? Something, something requiring you to be the work that had to be put in. You feel me? If that makes sense. Excuse me. So it's like, when I consider the relationships that I've always wanted, like the type of, creating kids, like in the 100th episode, I mentioned my great granddaughter, right? So there's a person of equal but opposite magnitude that I have no idea about who equally wants the exact same thing I want. You feel what I'm saying? And in them manifesting me, it is fueling my manifestations because I'm being manifested. My ultimate form, my final form, my greatest self is being manifested. Somebody wants the greatest version of me. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, you can apply this to jobs, you can apply this to relationships, you can apply this to whatever. You feel me? But somebody is equally manifesting the greatest version of yourself, of you. You feel me? And I feel like there's like with divine timing, it's when manifesting and being manifested collide. When they come together. And like sometimes people are like, y'all missed an opportunity. And I feel like when people miss an opportunity because what they were being manifested, but they weren't manifesting. And that being manifested part, it still came as like, damn, how the fuck I missed it? You feel me? But then it's like there's other times when you're manifesting something that's not manifesting you. You feel me? And you're putting in a whole bunch of work and now you feel like you're just waiting or you feel like you're on the wrong path, whatever the case may be, but you're not aligned with that. But that's a different topic. The main thing we're going to talk about today is about being manifested. So it's like that post, that memory, it made me think because I was like, there's somebody out there that's going to want that's looking for me. You know what I mean? And the dope part about it is like, as long as you're manifesting what you're being manifested, what's manifesting you is going to continually change depending on your level. You feel what I'm saying? You know, so I'm starting to see that on the other side of it, me being manifested, like where I am today and what I am from that time of the memory 6 years apart. And I'm like, damn, bro, I still haven't met that person. I still haven't fully met that person. I've been in isolation. I've been in certain things. And it's like, why was I going through certain things the way that I was going through? You know, and I'm realizing that it's off the other side. That person manifesting me. Just like because I'm manifesting her, you feel me? Just because I'm manifesting her equally, she's going through the ringer. She's probably going through the ringer the same way I'm going through the ringer. And we're getting to a point where it's like, damn, shed, heal, clear, because we need to be on point when we come together. But we're still not ready yet. And it's like I periodically do this where I say, you know what I mean, thank you to whoever the fuck is manifesting me right now because you're creating a phenomenal person. If you told me 6 years ago I would be this person today, I wouldn't believe you. At that time, I couldn't even fathom being what I am right now. You feel what I'm saying? But it comes from the other side, like I said, of being manifested. Being manifested, you know. And I don't think we realize that part. And I think if a lot of people realize that part, they would do more of the inner work. They would be more conscious to doing the work. And I think it's because, you know, we have been adopted to have like a selfless reality of, you know, do for everybody else. People pleasing and all of that shit creates that reality. But I don't think it has necessarily a bad thing to it because if you're trying to, okay, I want to connect with this person who's manifesting me equally, then I have to understand that I have to do certain shit. And there's certain situations that will occur that, boom, this is going to send you into this mode. This is going to send you into here to do this because you have to manifest yourself. You have to work towards being ready for this manifestation. You feel what I'm saying? That's making sense. So it's like, when I look at a lot of the moments that, you know, when I look at a lot of the moments of a lot of the opportunities that I received in life, that it's just like, yo, this shit just fell in my lap. I think those moments, in addition, they come with divine alignment based off of the fact that I was manifesting and simultaneously being manifested for an equal goal. You feel what I'm saying? You feel me? Even down to the small things. Like when I look at, you know, when I was working in ballet, right? And I was like, how did I get that job that fast? Because I had to realize that I was manifesting the job because at that point I just needed income. You feel me? I was manifesting a job that would give me this, that, and the third, like money that I can have every single day. You feel me? Because, you know, as a tipped employee, you get paid every single day, right? So basically, you know, of course you get your hourly wage, but then, you know, you get tips and shit. So as I'm manifesting this job, this type of reality, something that I can get some bread every day, there's equally the manager manifesting a new employee who's going to put in the work that needs to be done. You dig what I'm saying? There's going to be an equal person off the other side of that that's manifesting the exact same, that's manifesting you because you're manifesting a certain vision, and the two coincide. And so when I look at it, I said, look, I need a job that I can move up in the ranks quick, that I can do this. And I was like, bam. So then when it hit, and then I meet the manager who's basically online, and he's aligned with what I wanted. It's like, yo, I was manifesting this position and you were manifesting this employee. And we met and we were able to diverge in the middle. You feel me? And I think a lot of times we miss that part. We miss that part. And that's why it's like I'm learning that you have to start to be specific with your manifestations, because then when you start to get specific with your manifestations, what is manifesting you is just as specific. You feel what I'm saying? But when you start being vague and broad, that's when things don't work that way. You feel what I'm saying? That's when things don't work that way. But they still work. They work according to what you put. Like I always say, the universe doesn't give a fuck about right or wrong, up or down, high or low, good or bad. It's just a thing. It pays attention to the things and how they present themselves. So it's like, okay, I want this. Okay, this wants you. You know, but do you really put into what it takes to actually have that? And then you get it and you realize, well, damn, I wanted a little bit more, but were you specific enough to ask for more? Because now this thing has to be specific enough to ask for you. So you two have to meet in the middle. So the divine alignment, that is really a matter of a twofold process. Yeah, you can manifest and put in all of this work for the opportunity to come, but at the same time, something on the other side, it has to manifest what it needs out of you to be that opportunity, to give you that opportunity. You feel me? It goes hand in hand, you know, because now I have to look at it at the other side. So like, let's say the manager that was manifesting the employee like me, like I need a good employee that's going to always show up to work, that's going to bust his ass, that's going to never slack, that's going to never do these things, that has a drive and ambition to go and excel. You feel what I'm saying? And we met. And then when we spoke to each other, it was like, yeah, bro, I'm here for a reason. And he was like, yo, you're the employee that I was looking for. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't think we take time to appreciate that part, that we're being manifested. You know, we're being manifested. And I use that employee thing. I'm gonna go back to relationships and shit, because now when I look at the women, you know, me being celibate, me practicing celibacy is not something that, you know, it's something that I, of course, wanted to do, but it's also something I always felt I had to do. When I started doing it, I said, I have to do this. I even uttered to myself, I said, you know what? I'm gonna pull back because I want to be fresh for the person that I'm with. Like, I don't, like, you know how motherfuckers be like, oh, I was saving myself for marriage. I had my fun. I didn't save myself for it, but I had my fun and shit. But then I realized that I don't want to bring anything on her. Anything on her. I made that reality to myself. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when, you know, I practiced celibacy, started creating different things. And every time I'm creating, I'm like, damn, as I'm meeting the women at these particular levels, and it's like, they're not it. They're not it. It's like, why are they not it? Because they weren't manifesting the full me. They were manifesting a piece of me. They may have been a stepping stone. They may have been a part of moving, a part of, you know, the path that I had to take, but it's like they weren't it. They weren't it. And it was like I had to have periodic time checks to say, nope, I'm not the manifestor. I'm not that manifestor that you seek. Ooh, that's some dope shit. Like, what if the goal is just to find who's manifest? Like, as we're manifesting, we have to find our manifestor. And that's where divine alignment comes in. You know, because I look at all of the opportunities that I've ever done. It's like, yo, do this, and then this, like, it's certain things that just had to be done. Certain things just had to be done. So in addition to being a manifestor who is manifesting, we also have to find who's manifesting us as the manifestor. You know, like, what if that's the journey? What if that's a lot of the pieces of divine alignment? And in between that time, you have to search and find it. You know, so I look at every little challenge, every little thing that I've done. You know what I'm saying? I look at the way that I've changed and I transformed myself. I have a different respect for women that I didn't have, you know, back in the day, because now I'm realizing that, damn, the woman that's manifesting me, she needs to be respected. She may have been disrespected in the past. She's like, yo, so I need to understand what it takes to respect the woman. You feel me? That's just the basic level of relationship. Think about the full plethora of life. You feel what I'm saying? The manifestations in this physical realm. Like, what if, and that's why I'm starting to understand. This is one of the reasons I had to let religion go, because religion just kind of made me feel like I was on autopilot. Like I don't have any control over my plan of life. I don't have any, like I just do things. And it's like, I just have to coast. So my manifestor is a coaster. You feel me? But when I started setting intentional manifestations and goals and dreams and visions, my manifestor became that as well. They became a motherfucker who's like, yo, I really want this, that, and the third. In reality, I'm being detailed and specific because I'm becoming more detailed and specific within myself. You know, I'm not just a person who's just flying by, you know, getting by on certain things. Like, you know, everything is strategic, everything is calculated. And the person that's manifesting me needs that. You feel what I'm saying? And they continually, at this point, I'm learning that they're close because it is a fine-tuned reality. Like there's not like, it used to be really broad. Like in 2014, my vision and everything was real broad. You feel me? I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. Like the better I became at these things, it just kind of started to fine tune. Like you ever watch the Auto Trader commercial? Like it was an old car commercial where it's like the person was looking for a car and they're putting in details like, I want a black car. And then all of the black cars came and said, I need a coupe or whatever the case may be. Then all the 4-door cars kind of veered off and it was like still going. Then it was like put in a whole bunch of other details. And then the exact car that they put the details in for, it pulled up to their driveway. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's like off the other side of that. From that example, from that metaphor, we got to think about how a car is built. I used to sell cars, so like multiple cars are built differently, even though they look the same on the outside. You can have a trim level. Let's say you have like a Toyota SE, which is a sports edition. Within that SE, you feel me? It can have different details. Like I would literally have cars parked beside each other. They're both Camry SEs, but one has something that the other one doesn't. It's like, why did you do that? Because it becomes an individual thing. This person has an SC with a sunroof. This person has an SC that doesn't have a sunroof, but it has a CD player. This one doesn't have a CD player because it has Navi in it. It's like, it's different things within the manifestation, but the manifestor is the one creating it on the other side. It's the unseen force too. You feel what I'm saying? Which then comes back into the duality of unity. You feel me? Whether people want to say, okay, this is twin flame shit, soul flame shit. I don't really want to get too heavy into that shit because there's different dynamics and different misunderstandings because everybody relates those two things to love and relationship, and they're not. Some things are just not solely for relationships and shit, you know, but that's what we're seeking. That's what we're craving. That's what we're loving, you know? So when we consider who's manifesting us, do we consider that? Or is it only our ego that allows us to see that I'm the manifestor? This is what I want out of life. But then take a step back and ask, what wants me? You feel what I'm saying? Really, from after this, like take a moment to really sit with yourself and ask yourself that, what wants me? You feel what I'm saying? Because we get so wrapped up in, I want to build this so I can do this, that, and the third. You know, these are the things that I want out of life. But then it's like, well, what wants me? Because will I be prepared for that shit? And this came into perspective with a lot of the relationships that I had that wouldn't work. Like I said, they were phenomenal women, but it's like, you feel me? They wanted me, but I had never really put on paper that what wants me, what's going to want me as I am, what's going to want me at this particular point, what's going to want the full, complete version of me. You feel me? I had never sat and did that. And that didn't mean that doesn't mean that wasn't still at play because of the end goals and the things that I said. But once I started to, I'm learning now that like in accepting this now, it's like there's something that wants me. There's something that's manifesting me. When I started to understand those things, you know, if you follow me on social media, you've seen me post it several times over, but there's something actively right now that's manifesting you too. And you think that, okay, this particular challenge, this is hard and this, I have to go through this. Like there's a lot of things that you're going to go through because it's a requirement of the manifestor. It's a requirement of the manifestor, you know, and you can be like, yo, this is a challenge. This is that, like, this is busting my ass. And it's like, the manifestor is like, yo, I need to determine if this motherfucker is even built for me. You feel me? Now it's different than what I'm saying is different than you're actively involved with somebody that's physically in your presence or something like that. And it's like, they're demanding you that you do certain shit and all of that shit and putting that extra, no. off the other. You have not met your manifestor yet. You feel me? Possible. You feel me? Because if nothing still works and you feel like you still, I still got growth. I still got growth. There's still things that I need to do. There's still things that I need to master. You feel me? Something is still manifesting you to be better. Case in point. You feel me? When I look at myself from the entrepreneur perspective, you feel me? I needed to be at a point where, well, when I first started my journey, my goal was, I wanted to be like, I'm going to say this part real quick and I'm going to get back to the story. Like, what's manifesting you needs the full you, of course. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, they need what you want, what you're willing to present to the world. You feel what I'm saying? What you're willing to be, they want that. That's another part about it. And I think that's where like the quote unquote free will thing comes in. You feel me? The manifestor wants you to be you. They want a certain version of you, but only the version that you're willing to be. That manifestor wants the version that you're willing to be. You feel what I'm saying? So when I look at myself and I was like, okay, bam, I want to be able to, at the core, when I have kids, I want to be home. Not necessarily quote unquote a stay-at-home dad, like in the sense that I'm not doing anything, but I want to have so much shit in place that I can stay home and be with my children all the time. I want to be actively and fully engaged in their lives. My manifestor wants the same thing. And like, I need a man who's going to be able to, and it's like that vision, that sync, that idea between the two of us merged our timelines. You feel me? It merged our paths to where, over the years, I'm like, bam, I will always get to a point, there's still more I need to do. Like, it wasn't enough to write the book. I had to learn how to market. I had to learn how to do things. I had to learn to advertise it and brand it and do all of these things to it too. So that was a part of, the unseen forces of things. It's like, okay, if you want this, this is what you have to do. And the person that wants you as that, these are the things that you're going to have to do when these things work together. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to consider that shit. The thing that we're willing to ultimately become. There's something that's manifesting that version of us. You feel what I'm saying? We're being manifested in real time with that. So it kind of makes you wonder. It kind of makes you wonder, do you really want to be manifested? This is where it comes, where you have to you have to get over yourself. You have to fully accept yourself. You have to have knowledge of self. You have to have understanding of self. You have to really love who you are. Because if you're not willing to love who you are, then you're going to block you're going to put friction between what's manifesting you. Because you're going to be at a point where I can't get to this point. You feel me? I'm not going to be able to get to this point because I don't even know if somebody's going to like what I am. That's a hindering piece. That's a very hindering piece, and it's critical because if you're not willing to love yourself, accept yourself wholly, accept yourself fully, what's going to happen to you is that you're gonna disrupt the manifestor. You're gonna disrupt the process of being manifested, because a lot of it has to do with self-acceptance and what you're willing to accept within yourself. Because that person, that being that's manifesting you, they need you in the full capacity of what you're willing to be. You feel what I'm saying? You ever been on pace with something and then you feel like everything is aligned and then suddenly things stop, but then you pay attention to your mindset and you start to doubt yourself. Do I even want to be here? Should I even be here? And you feel like, why did things stop? And then that's when the battle comes in. Well, maybe it's just not for me. No, you stop being manifested. You stop being manifested because you stopped accepting who you were willing to be. You feel what I'm saying? And that fuel, that unseen fuel, is no longer there. You feel what I'm saying? I paid attention just to my journey, and it's like each part of where I was, when I accepted who I was, and then connecting with women who had necessarily wanted that too, but they would stop because we had quote unquote found each other. No, there's still work that has to be done. And I would know that there's still work that has to be done. They would still know that there's still work that has to be done, but we would get so caught up in the moment. That's like, oh my gosh, I found you. And then it's like, it stopped. Like I was telling how like, I probably would have been a year ahead had I not stopped to, be involved with women who I thought were going to that place. But that was my fault, not theirs. They manifested me as I was. You feel what I'm saying? And I had accepted that part, but there's still parts of myself that I had not accepted. So which was easy for me to be blocked by that point. But then it's like for me to be able to walk away from those two means that I still knew that I had to accept a deeper point of me, because I was able to see, like, you get into a relationship, you realize that I can't grow with this person. Or you get into a situation, you realize I can't grow because something is still manifesting you on a greater point. And I think it's like certain things are benchmarks. It's like, yeah, this person dope, right? There's still more. They're not enough. And there's no slight, like they're bad people or anything like that, or that's a bad situation, but it's like it's more. So then when you look at the situations of what you want, you got to be real detailed. It's like, I want more out of this. What is the more that you want? You feel me? What is the more that you want? Because I talk about people all the time saying, I'm manifesting abundance. Abundance of what? Because there's an equal manifestor right now willing to give you the abundance. Willing to give you the very abundance you seek, but what is the abundance? Imagine this. You ever seen somebody who, and I seen this a lot of time. Like I grew up like this, I had a poverty stricken mindset, growing up young. So it's like you get money and blow it. You feel me? So it's like I'm manifesting abundance, but it's the abundance of lack because I have a lack mentality. So the manifestor that is, it's like somebody that's going to blow money. You feel me? Somebody's going to blow money. Like in my early entrepreneur phases, I was always, I need a hustler. I need a woman who's going to hustle like me. And I would gravitate towards those. And when I affirmed that, the manifestor said, I need a hustler like me too. And then we just got together as hustlers. And you feel what I'm saying? But it was like, I would look at her, and when I say hustle, she can hustle. She can make some motherfucking money legally. You feel me? She can hustle, but then it'll be like, she blows it. After she gets it, she makes it, and it's like, you don't do anything with it. And that's when I started to realize that there's a slight differentiation in the specifics of what's going on. You feel me? I wanted a hustler in the contents that you can make money, but you know how we're now moving to multiply. I never defined that part. I just needed the hustle. But then it came to me, certain things will come to you when you realize, when you reach a blockage and you're like, oh, nah, this ain't hitting. You feel me? This ain't it. This ain't it. There's still more. I want more. And that's when the calibration happens, and you'll shed from that person or you'll shed from that opportunity because it's like, okay, my manifestor just needed me to see that I still need to get a little bit more specific. You feel me? I need to get a little bit more specific. As much as I've grown as an entrepreneur, author, whatever it is that I'm doing, it's like little things would start to connect a lot more. And I would see myself in a different light. But in seeing myself in this different light, I kept pushing. And it's in the push that I was like, whoa, buddy, I need to get more specific. The more specific I became, the more specific my manifestor became. You feel me? So it's like when I finally run into this person, it's not going to be a mystery. It's not going to be a mystery. You feel what I'm saying? But the truth of it all is that I first had to fully embrace myself in everything that I wanted to manifest. And then now I have to understand and accept that some being is manifesting me equally, manifesting everything that I'm willing to become. All right. Look. The markets are not a difficult place to understand. All right. You just have to know what you're looking at. And there's 5 things that you need to see before you can make any market entry. First, you need a pocket so you can know which direction the market is going in. Second, you need a pullback so you can get the better price. Third, you need a battlefield so you can see when that market movement is slowing down. Fourth, you need the upper hand so you can see when the market reactivates. And last, you need a final push so you can see the exact moment when it's time to go with the direction you are already moving in. Okay? Of course, there's so much more that has to go into that, and it's not as cut and dry as that. But those are things that I teach in my Mastering the Market course. So if you would like to learn more, please visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today. Although it is directed and specialized for Forex, all of the skills, I crafted them to be transferable to any market that you're looking at. So again, visit IamJustSing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today if you are truly looking to master the market. You got to ask yourself, are you where you are? Are you where you are solely because of you? There is no coincidence. There is no coincidence. And this is why coincidences don't exist. You feel what I'm saying? Basically, if you break down the word, code means together, incident means like occurrence. So it's a co-occurrence. What is the opposite side of that co-occurrence? And we'd be like, everything happens for a reason, because you're being manifested, because it's a part of the manifestor off the other side that is looking for you. You dig what I'm saying? Are you following me on that shit? I hope I'm not coming off too woke. Like I said, this is impromptu, so I didn't really have much to plan. So this is me flowing right now. You dig what I mean? So it's like, what about the things that you're allowing into your life that are a part of the manifestor? Are you even aware of the things that are a part of you being manifested? You know, I talk to people who are like, yo, I want this out of life. And they get a big obstacle and then they say, this wasn't supposed to happen. It was. It was. It was. It was supposed to be this way because you asked for a certain thing. You know, you asked for a certain thing. I know a lot of people. Now, this is a part of collective consciousness. And I'm not going to say that this is really what happened or this isn't what happened. But I feel like there's no coincidence. You feel me? There is no coincidence. So when we put things into perspective, when we really come to terms with the reality, we have to look at it like this, right? A lot of people that I know said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur in 2020. Like 2024, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. You feel me? And a lot of motherfuckers got locked in. A lot of motherfuckers got locked in. You feel what I'm saying? Some people pushed forward. Some people didn't. What was your manifestor? Did you even acknowledge and connect to what could potentially be manifesting you? And I know we talk about what we want to manifest, but we got to realize the challenges. You feel me? People say, okay, I need this type of person. I need this type of person in my life. And then, okay, cool. This person now is off the other side of that saying, I need this type of person. You guys are co-manifesting one another together. And you're like, okay, this is what I need out of this person. You feel me? I know for a fact that every woman that manifested, since I made this acknowledgement, every woman that has ever manifested me at this point needed a man who wasn't a hoe and knew how to control his sexual urges. You feel me? I didn't go to celibacy because I didn't have to. You feel me? I didn't have to. Yes, granted, it was a choice. It was a personal choice, but there was something that made me stay dedicated to it because I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to do it. You know, and most modesty, like yoni was being thrown at me, but I still resisted. I was like, nah, I need, there's more. There's something deeper than whatever's manifesting me needed that. Whatever is manifesting me right now, what I'm being manifested for needed a being who knows how to control his sexual urges, his sexual connection to women, to not be, to reach a point where he can avoid being seduced, avoid being tempted, avoid being all these things. Like, women have always manifested that out of me. You feel what I'm saying? And I've always been a faithful man in relationships. I know I say I was a hoe, but I was always single in my whole face. I never was in a situation. I was never caught up in situationships. It was clearly defined. We don't go together. You feel me? We are not together. We are friends and we are fucking. If that's what the case may be, it was no hidden things where it's just like, I'm doing you like this, putting you in a girlfriend perspective, but you were not even put in a girlfriend perspective. You feel me? That's what my whole phase was about. So I always had that in me. But at the same time, it's like where I'm looking at it now with practicing celibacy, with becoming serious on focusing on being stringent in monogamy. And there was someone like, yo, you can't be, I need it. Whoever's manifesting me right now needs a man that can't be tempted. Am I saying I can't be tempted? No, hell no. I'm not saying I can't be tempted. But what I am saying is that I know how to overcome temptation. There's a huge difference. People will be thinking that being able to overcome temptation means that you're not. Yes, there's a lot of women right now that I can, be like, fuck it. Fuck it. And it'll be justified. It'll be cool, but it'll stop my manifestation. It'll stop whatever me and my manifestor have already co-signed into the universe together. You feel what I'm saying? And I was always wondering, over the last couple of years, I couldn't, it was easy to meet women in physical, in the physical and shit. But it's like, I'll always meet the women that I was really looking for. We'll be at a distance. It'll be some kind of, bam, we got to, we're far away and we would have to travel. And I wasn't willing to break my shit just to go travel, just to play now. I'm on a grind. I need to hustle and shit. But it's like, you're cool. We can vibe and shit. Let's see when, and it was like, in meeting those women, it was like, are you willing to do the work? Or is it just about sex? Because, it's a sapiosexual thing. A lot of motherfuckers just want to smart fart people. They want to fuck smart people. I think I'm going to use that shit. You want to smoke fart people, motherfucker. But a lot of people just want to fuck smart people. And, you know, it can become distracting. It can become distracting. I'm realizing now, if the woman that's manifesting me right now needs the man that can avoid temptation, what better way to tempt me what better way for me to practice and overcome temptation than to deal with women who only want to fuck smart people? That shit don't go to my head. You know, I've been past the handsome part. You feel me? You feel me? I've been past the, you flatter me and you so handsome, you so fine, you this, that, and the third. I've been past that part, so it don't work. So, that's not a love language for me. That like giving me compliments about shit I already know about myself. It doesn't do anything for me. You feel what I'm saying? Intelligence was another piece. I wasn't one of those who got intelligent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I noticed that a lot of dudes use that as leverage to get ass. Like, you feel what I'm saying? You know, there's certain things that you have to start seeing within yourself that is happening to you, that is a part of not necessarily you manifesting, but it's you being manifested. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like one of the things that would be like, I could reach a point to be able to resist that. There's not a thing right now. I'm not going to say there's not a thing that I can't overcome as far as temptation, but I feel like once I master the ability to conquer my sexual urges, I can't be tempted by women. I can be tempted, but you feel me? The shit don't work. Like, the shit don't work. There still got to be more. You feel me? And that's how I got to a point where I realized that a lot of women be using pussy as a trump card, like the big joker and shit, because it works sometimes. It works. And they may not necessarily have ill intent with this temptation. They may really genuinely want to have sex with this person. But at the same time, those are things that I had to personally deal with. There's certain things that you have to personally deal with that is a part of you being manifested. Certain things and certain trials and tribulations that you're going to have to overcome. You dig what I'm saying? Are you willing to do them? Are you willing to accept that within yourself when the opportunity presents itself for you to be better? You feel me? Every one of the women that over the last couple of years that I've involved myself in wanted to be entrepreneurs. Why do you think I popped up in their life? Because this is what you want. You want a man. I want a man who's going to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. So I'm manifesting this life. I want to manifest the entrepreneurship life. Then you meet a motherfucker who's doing it. Are you going to continue to push forward? The manifestor is not, our shit coincided. It's like, bam. That's why I talked about in Entrepreneur Negu 7 or 6. It's like the entrepreneur mindset versus the entrepreneur mind. When I had the entrepreneur mindset, that's what I manifested. But then it was like, I am also the entrepreneur because I'm actively doing shit. And I had to get specific with that. I don't just want the mindset anymore. I need the actor. I need the person who's actively doing it. You feel what I'm saying? Because now that changes the dynamic of it. You feel me? That's a little bit more specific. It's a little bit more refined. But, I'm going to go back to the part about, the sex part. So it's like, after they meet me and then it's like, bam, bam, I'm checking off all of the list. You feel me? But you haven't even tipped that, cracked the shell on my side, on my manifesting side. You feel me? I've done your part. So it's like, well, damn, this is hard. And I can't have that in my life. So I realized, okay, you're not quite the person. Let me recalibrate. Because you fit what I manifested, but you didn't fit this. There's more specifics I had to go for with that. So it's like, whatever we had, whatever we connected with, it's not going to work, but it's cool. It's no slight to you. One of the women, after I broke that down to her, she got mad at me, created social media pages, send threats to me and shit that she was going to cut me or whatever the case may be. And you feel me? I'm like, yo, you live a whole different state away. Don't play with me. Like, you feel me? But anyway, it's like, that was a part of, yo, see, these are specifics, bro. Now, she doesn't even know how to deal with rejection. You feel what I'm saying? I don't need that type of energy in my life because I know how to deal with rejection. You feel what I'm saying? I know how to deal with rejection. I've learned how to deal with that over the time, which is another point because now the woman that I'm manifesting, whatever it is, like we both have to simultaneously be able to do that. There's a lot of things that you're learning, that you're building for this. It's because of somebody's manifesting you. It's because of your manifestor. You feel what I'm saying? So go back to the sex thing. Like celibacy was, it was my choice. I chose to practice. I don't have to, but it's like at some point I even uttered that, say, you know what? I just want to make sure my entire body is clear. No negative energies, no energies from other sexual partners with fucked up mentalities that are going to fuck up the relationship that I have, that I could potentially have with the woman that I want. Celibacy was a reason for that. I literally purged all of these energies. You feel me? When I talk about me having depression and suicidal thoughts, they weren't my original thoughts. That's very, very important. They weren't my original thoughts. They came from me having a sexual partner who was in that space, which is something that I can't have. You feel what I'm saying? Because why? That carries on to the future if I don't do the necessary work to cleanse myself of those things. And you know what I'm saying? So when I set that intention for myself, somebody else set that intention for that's the type of man that they want. You feel me? So even now, it's like there's now a pool of women that, I don't know, player shit, but like there's a pool of women now that become a set standard for me. They're a set standard for me because now I notice that every woman that I run into, they be like, yo, we have healthy conversations. We don't be talking about sex and fucking and all this shit now. There are those who that is what that conversation is for. We play, we laugh, we joke, we have those things, and we have those serious moments. We can go back and forth because that is where our particular alignment happened according to manifestation. But for the most part, it's like we can have intellectual conversations about certain things and this, that, and the third. And where I will understand why I have to still get more specific is the fact that when they say, well, I'm not used to that. I am. You feel what I'm saying? All of the women in my space are like this now. All of the women that I attract, my attraction, my type, they're like this. So for me, it's not so much as, and this had to be done because now it's like these specifics are going to help for when the manifestor comes into my space. Like we're close. I feel it 100%. Like me and that person is really close. And it's a lot more things that I still got to fine tune, still got to deal with. You feel me? That I'm not even tripping on because it's like, whoever is manifesting me is transforming me into a whole nother motherfucker. But at the same time, whoever I'm manifesting, you great as fuck. You great as fuck because you got to keep up with me. You got to match me. That's been something I said from the jump. Any woman that I'm with, who's going to be the mother of my kids, she has to match me. She has to match me. She has that same intention. Yo, he got to match me, bro. He got to match me. And in our development and the shit that we're peeling back, and it's like, these are different things that have to really play the part. These are the things that really have to play the part because ultimately it's like, I can no longer be in a position to where I'm not honoring what's manifesting me. That's disrespectful. There's literally right now, even if nothing else in the world works, for me, there's somebody right now who wants me. Even if it's just one motherfucker. You feel me? Wants the full version of me and they want it raw, uncut, the way that I am. I present myself because I need to be in a position where I'm not faking. I don't have to, hide myself or be anything that I'm not. Like, this person is literally manifesting the shit out of me right now. And I'm manifesting the shit out of her. And these are things that we're doing on a regular basis that we don't even know. Some of us want to manifest life, but we don't want to acknowledge what's manifesting us. You feel me? If you're not willing to acknowledge what's manifesting you, yeah, I get it. Pay homage to your ancestors. Pay homage to the universe, the source, all of that shit. Do that shit. But start to acknowledge the real world, the physical realm thing that is calling you out, that's calling out to you. You feel me? Something told me to do this. I know that it was my ancestors. I know it was my guys. Yeah, you guys may be sharing the same template, speaking to each other about the same thing. You feel me? Oh, I want this type of person. I want this type of person. Oh, I want this. Like, they playing matchmaker low key. They're playing matchmakers. Like, yo, y'all two gonna be perfect for each other. Just not yet. Give it 10 years. Give it 10 years. But as long as you're gonna keep being distracted because you're only worrying about what you're manifesting and you're only worrying about physical shit, material shit. Oh, let me manifest this bag. Let me get this money. Let me get this. Nah. The shit that I'm manifesting is beyond money. It's beyond different things. So the person that's manifesting me is beyond money. It's beyond different things. That's why when I realized that, it just, like I said, that 100th episode was very powerful. Like, 2014 was when I became woke, but I also set that intention that I'm doing the rest of the shit of my life for my great-granddaughter. That, you know how many people that weeded out? Like, and I started to watch it drop off women that just want kids. Just like some women just want somebody in their space. Like, there's levels to this shit because each level comes in with the specifics. To be put in a position to be, just imagine knowing the work that I put in, knowing all of the shit that I've done personally for myself, and looking for the future. And it's like, yo, I've done this for my great-granddaughter. There's a woman right now who is doing the same shit. thinking 4 generations out and building this shit well. Like we in the same spot really, but we just not in the same spot yet. You feel me? It's like, damn, how do I deal with that? You feel me? And I have to now accept the fact that I'm being manifested and that something wants me fully as I am. No fear, no fear, no guilt, no doubt, no shame of who I am. Like a lot of these things that I had to let go of the past it's real. Like there's a lot of things you got to let go too. There's a lot of things that you have to really acknowledge right now. I don't even know why I did this. I don't even know why I'm in this position. You feel me? The culmination of things that you're going through right now, somebody's manifesting you. And here's where a lot of times we can get distracted because, you know, I see it a lot of times with women. I see it a lot of times with women, and I see the other side a lot of times with men. A lot of times with men, we be like, yo, man, I just wasn't ready for this particular woman. You feel me? I wasn't ready for this particular woman. So in that regard, we realized that we missed the opportunity because we didn't have our shit together. But then some women off the other side of that, they'll have their shit together for that level. And they'll only deal with men who don't have their shit together, who aren't up to that level. And they're missing out on the level they're supposed to be coming in because they're constantly used to dealing with motherfuckers who are never on their level. You dig what I'm saying? So by the time a motherfucker gets to their level, like, oh, shit, you 20 laps in, I'm 5 feet behind you, and I only ran 2 laps. Oh, shit. Like, can you wait? Nope. You know, that's the thing about the manifestation and the manifestor. You feel me? You have to keep going. When you set that intention to keep doing shit, you got to keep that cycle moving. You got to keep it going. Don't get complacent and don't get complacent and don't get distracted. Because when you start getting distracted, that manifestor is still manifesting you, whether it's you or not. You dig what I'm saying? Whether it's you or not, that manifestor is still manifesting you. It's just the same situation. As long as you continue to manifest, you're manifesting things, then there's what you're manifesting is still going to come. Regardless, it may not be in the form of what you really think it is at that moment, because it's going to give you what you're manifesting. And you got to think about that on the other side. What that manifestor wants is going to come to that manifestor. And it started off as you, but then you got distracted. You started fucking with this person. You started fucking with that person. You started fucking with this obstacle. You got complacent. It's like, yo, I'm good right here. Bam, the tide, it was severed. That's not who you're supposed to be with. You feel me? And then you'll get the fucked up part and feel like shit was wrong when you see that manifesto across your path and you're like, oh, damn, if I was only ready. If I was only ready, if I wouldn't have done this, if I wouldn't have got distracted by this, if I wouldn't have got hindered by this, if I wouldn't have got crossed up by this, I would have been in this better position, or I would have been here. Fuck it. At what point did you give up? You feel me? I had to eat that when I look back at a lot of the opportunities that I missed. You feel me? Because I use women in my perspective because I mentioned it, I forgot which episode, but I mentioned that, you know, women are my greatest strength and my greatest weakness. That's my greatest learning lesson. I know a lot of times people are like, yo, why do you cater to women? Why do you talk to women? This, that, and third. It's like, and the reason why I created a lot of platonic relationships, because at a very young age, I realized that women are my greatest strength and my greatest weakness, but I needed to use them as my strength. I could no longer allow them to be my weakness anymore. I had to allow them to be my strength. You feel me? So I tapped into that, you know, and in accepting that, I started to learn a lot more lessons. And it was when I looked at the situation that I was in with, you know, when I was in a relationship with the girlfriend that ultimately cheated on me, I had a choice between 2 women at a time, and I chose her as opposed to, and every other dynamic told me not to choose her. It told me to go with the other one. I just didn't listen. But then that went back into not knowing who I was, not trusting myself, not being willing to actually be who I really am. You feel me? I had to be what fit within the confines of what allowed us to even have an inkling of working. You feel me? So it stopped me. So then when I look at the women that I very well could have been fucking with her, and I was like, yo, I would have been in a very good position with that person. I would have learned, I would have grown, I would have developed. I would have been like, I could have been like, not on the funny shit, like, but I could have been the father of their kids. They were still going to have kids, whatever they was going to, but now it's like, well, you're not what they're manifesting anymore because you stopped. You broke the tie between that manifestation. You feel what I'm saying? So that put into perspective when I look at the whole gamut of life. You know, when I look at the whole gamut of life, there's things that I look at that I was manifesting, and there's things that were manifesting me that I stopped and I missed out on the opportunity because of X, Y, and Z. You know, I got the opportunity because I kept pushing. So now I'm at a position now where I acknowledge that and I analyze it. Yo, what is manifesting me? what is manifesting me? Right now, I know for a fact that a woman is manifesting me, and everything else is a piece of that. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want. Everything I do is for my great granddaughter, so it has to have a starting point with somebody that's there. So these other tidbits and these other things that I'm doing are for them. It's for them. And it just put so many different things into reality for me because I had to acknowledge that I'm being manifested. That's kind of hard to do that's kind of hard to do when you feel unwanted, when you feel unloved, when you feel like you're not heard, you feel like you're not cared for. You feel what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that I did in the side pieces of it that it's like, yo, and me being manifested, there's things that I got to work on. You feel me? There's things that I got to work on within me. You feel me? Practicing celibacy, different things like that, because I understood like why I had to do these things. Because in the direction that I'm going, like when I started doing public speaking, when I started doing all of these different things, like I'm going to be in different cities, I'm going to be in different places, and then I'm going to be in those cities. It ain't like I'm just there for a weekend and no shit like that. It's like I put myself in a position financially to where I could stay here for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks if I want to. You feel me? My social media is like my involvement. I have people, and I'm interacting with people that are according to my brands in different countries, different states. You feel me? So to be motherfuckers that's there, it's like, yo, when I'm in these space, can I control myself? Can I control myself? Will shit get to my head? Will my ego get involved? And it's like, yo, I'm that nigga, bro. Nigga, I'm saying, bro, it's that like, nah, there's that level of discipline that had to be developed over time. You feel what I'm saying? Because what is manifesting me is asking for that. You feel me? It's asking for that. And I'm like, damn, this is some amazing shit. This is amazing shit. That's why it's like I periodically have to thank that person. I don't even know who it is, but I have to thank them. You feel me? I have to thank them because it's like, what you're putting me into a major position that is like, we're going to be built for some amazing shit. But now it's also, there's things that she's got to deal with too. There's things that she's dealing with that I require out of a woman. That she's like, bam, I'm in a inner work parts. I got to do this. There's women that I've met who have said, damn, until I met you, I respect these women so much. And then I respect my sisters who look out for the cookout. One of my homegirls, she was like, I know so many women that be trying to get me to put them onto you, but I can't even do it. I'm like, the fuck for, bro? Don't be a blocker. She's like, nah, it ain't about being a blocker. It's the fact that I know where you are and I know where they're not. And I'm not even gonna put you in that space. They don't, and as much as they're for sisterhood, they're realistic with their sisters. Like, nah, you're not for him. You're not for him. You can't even fuck with him on that level. You feel me? And I'm not gonna let you waste his time. You feel me? I respect those women. I respect those sisters. You feel what I'm saying? And then on the other side of that, like it's sisters that have reached that personal growth within themselves. That's like, damn. I'm gonna be honest with you and say I'm not even there. I'm not even there. I'm not even gonna play with you and waste your time. I could see it and I seen the vision, but it's like I've had one woman tell me, and this was one of the realest things I've ever heard from a woman. She said, the moment I saw you, I knew I had work to do. I was like, nah, I fucks with you as you are. Like, you feel me? I've always been that person who's like, fuck with people as they are. But at the same time, her acknowledgement of that, it showed me a different level of maturity of women. Because there's some women who will allow you to take them at they worst without them willing to put in the work. And you'll just be there they're not planning to grow. And off the other side, it's men that do it too, but they're not planning to grow. And they want you just to take them as they are. And, when she said that to me, she was just like, the moment I heard you speak, the moment I heard you talk, the moment like I really sat and engaged with you in that time, I was like, nah, I got a lot of work to do. And, it was like, it put, like I said, it put shit into perspective. It's the manifesting and the manifestor simultaneously running concurrent with each other. You feel what I'm saying? And I used to say this all the time. I used to say, I only get in relationship to make women better for other men. I never really, and motherfuckers be like, nah, that's not your reality. Trust me. It's not going to be my end goal, but it is my reality now. You feel me? There's no reason why, there's no coincidence that when I run into women, you feel me? They're coming off a rebound. They're coming off of different things, like to give them hope that, yo, there's a man out there that's going to do this, but there's some shit that you're going to have to do. You feel me? There's some shit that you're going to have to do. And it's like, I show them, all right, bam. Work on your shit. And then I'm out. They start to elevate, they start to change, they start to grow, and they start to transform. And then they start to notice that all the bullshit in their life starts to shed and they start to change. You feel me? But off the same perspective, there's brothers that do that shit too. You run into one, it's like, damn, bro, she was fucking everything. I wanted her so bad, but I couldn't. I wasn't ready. You feel me? There's women I look at like that. You feel me? It's like, damn, I wasn't ready for her. I could have fucking had her, but I wasn't ready. You feel me? I wasn't fucking ready. 2014, when I met a woman who was in med school together and shit. Like, I was still broken, still trying to deny my healing and shit. And when I met her, I said, damn, I should have been healed for you. We would have been dope together, yo. But I wasn't ready. And at that point, I realized the manifesting thing a lot. Like, in hindsight, I can see it a lot more now. It's like, yeah, I already knew, and now I'm really calling these, like, when things start giving me that nagging feeling, when things are, yo, fix this, touch this up, work on this, I do it because when the time comes, I got to be 100% ready. You feel me? Because if I'm not ready, I'm gonna get left behind. You feel me? And I only know this because I left a lot of women behind. You feel me? So I'm not absolved to the fact that I can't get left behind. I've been left, like, I got dusted off. I'm looking at these women now, and it's like, yo, they're like, damn. I'm like, yo, but you don't know, at the moment in which you took off, I wasn't even ready yet. Yeah, granted, my shit came full circle, it came around, we cool and all of this shit. Now you see my growth and everything. But in the moment when I was supposed to be fucking with you, I couldn't. I got left because the manifesting and the manifestor, the manifesting did not align with the acknowledgement of the manifestor. You feel me? How many of us have ever really thought about that? Like, really sit and come to that consistency. Like, we talk about manifesting all the time. I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to manifest this. But do we acknowledge? Do you ever take a second to acknowledge, motherfucker, I'm being manifested right fucking now. But do I want to be wanted? You feel what I'm saying? In being manifested, are you in a position to where you would be a quality manifestation? You feel me? You got to really think about that too. You feel me? Because this is a part of the shadow work. This is a part of the internal side. You're being manifested by somebody. You're being manifested right now, but will you be ready when that time comes?
And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes Merch and get your merchandise right now.
All right, I'm gonna try to wind it up there. I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna wind it up there. It just crossed my mind. It crossed my mind with that. Like, I literally woke up and kind of just felt that, and then I seen the memory and shit. I was like, oh shit, this is the whole episode, bro. This whole episode, because we always talk about manifestation, but we never talk about being manifested. Like, that's a level of importance that kind of hits you. You feel me? I've reached a point in my life where I no longer want to be wanted. I want to be manifested by somebody. It wasn't until right now that I just acknowledged that. Because when I look at the past, like flattery, the shit don't mean nothing to me. Compliments. Like, I just made a design for merch that had compliments over compliments. Compliments is and we come together and build something, as opposed to you just hyping me up all the time. That shit don't mean nothing to me. And I guess it's because of the self-awareness, but a part of the self-awareness is like, I don't want to be wanted anymore. I want to be manifested. Because that puts me in a different position in life. That means that somebody wants the greatest version of myself. And with me constantly manifesting things in my life, the person who's manifesting me, the person that I'm being manifested for, they want the greatest version of me. They are looking for the greatest version of me. And I don't have to worry about, and I know when entering that situation, I won't have to be insecure. I won't have to have doubts. Like, in me personally, in the shit that I've manifested in life, in the shit that I manifested in life, it's like, I don't have a desire to fuck it up. I worked hard for it. I worked hard to bring that shit into reality. I don't have a desire to fuck it up. You feel me? So off of that same perspective, I know the person that's manifesting me has the same mentality. Like, I manifested the shit. I'm not fucking it up. So I don't have to worry about insecurities. You feel me? I don't have to worry about trust issues. I'm not going to have to worry about these things. But as long as I'm wanted, I have to do things to be wanted. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I have to do things to be wanted. I have to keep myself up. Now, don't get me wrong. Keeping yourself up for the version of being wanted is a challenge versus keeping yourself up from somebody manifesting you is different because it's already aligned with what you already are, with what you already are. You feel me? I don't have to deviate to make you see me. I don't have to deviate to make you want me. So I reached the point where I no longer want to be wanted. You feel me? I want to be manifested. Because I like whoever is manifesting me right motherfucking now. I love it. I love who you're manifesting. I love that idea because the shit that you pushing me to, I could not have fathomed in my wildest dreams that I could be this person. You feel what I'm saying? I could not have fathomed this in my wildest dreams at the time in which, like, you know what I mean? In my younger years, it's like, bro, I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna have this. I was just with, I had went to Walmart and I seen my English teacher from the 10th grade. I was the only black male in this honors English class. You feel me? It was me. I was the only black male. And there was like 3 other black girls at the time. And then everybody else was Caucasian. And she remembered me like so much. So this is fucked up. Like this is one of the things that I can't hide about myself. You feel me? I got a mask on and I got a Scully. You feel what I'm saying? And she looked at me. She said, I know them eyes. I said, damn it. You feel me? But after 15 years, you know, she still remembered me. She still remembered who I was and everything. She was like, so what's going on? And then like I had on a pullover from my alma mater. She graduated from that alma mater too. I think she might have been one of the reasons I went there. She talked about it or something. It kind of planted a seed and I went. But she was like, what you got that on for? I said, I graduated. I'm a forensic biologist. She was like, she was like, so where you work at? This shit felt so good to say. I was like, I don't work. I said, I don't work for anybody. I said, I got online courses that I'm running. I'm advertising, marketing. I got books out. I'm doing all this. She was like, she just started smiling. She said, I'm so proud of you. And then it made a connection to where she was like, all right, bam, do you remember these specific teachers? And I remember the teachers because, you know, they were like in a little clique or whatnot. So she said, you remember these teachers? I was like, yeah. She said, they have little things for like the youth boys or whatever the case may be. She said, I'm going to put them on. She said, expect a call from them because you're going to be speaking for them. Like, you feel me? When I was even when I was in high school, that's the second time she did that. But when I was in high school, she even did that too. She would tell me what I'm going to do. And I'm like, you ain't asking me, yo. But you feel me? She was a black woman, you know, I was, you know. So I remember we had this little talent show a fashion show. And they needed somebody who was tall to model a tuxedo or some shit like that. And then she was like, I know the perfect person. And then she called me into her classroom. She said, you're going to do this fashion show. What? You feel me? That was a good moment. I ain't gonna front. Like when I did it and shit, it gave me a confidence boost and shit because I was real shy, nervous. Motherfuckers was screaming and shit. And I realized, you know, motherfuckers trying to throw pains and shit on the stage and shit, but couldn't really go. But anyway, it brought a full circle moment because now she's like, dang. She said, give me your number. I'm gonna contact these teachers. And I'm good with the teachers. Like, you feel what I'm saying? It was no problems. And so it's like to be able to speak, it kind of put the full thing into perspective. But that was about that was about a different perspective of manifestation for me. Because it was like, I did this. You feel me? So when I'm looking at being manifested, you feel me? It's like, and I said that because of the manifest, like they were looking for black men to speak to the black boys that had shit going for them, that was doing these things and that was really about, you know what I mean? Yo, uplift the black boys, just make sure they, you know, they on point. That's all the shit that I'm on. You feel what I'm saying? That was I'm not wanted to speak here. I was manifested to speak there. I'm not wanted to be in that position. I was manifested for that shit. It's different. It's different. So I reached a point in life where like, I don't want to be wanted anymore. I don't want to be wanted anymore. Manifest me. Don't want me, manifest me. It's different. It's just different. You feel what I'm saying? And I started to realize just the relationships that I was getting. Women they would in the early age, like, I want a man like you. You're not manifesting a man like me though. And that's why we're not going to work. That's why we couldn't work. You feel me? This was never a slight to those women. Those women are still cool, but they wanted the man like me. They didn't manifest the man like me because there was work that they would have had to put in. Same situation in my early years. The women that slipped through my fingers, the ones that got away, I wanted them, but I never manifested them. And you can't wait until you get to that, till you see that person and start manifesting them. The manifestation being like, it goes hand in hand. You have to manifest to be manifested. It's divine alignment. That's the quandary. That's the polarity between divine alignment. You have to be manifesting, and you're manifesting and you're being manifested to the same capacity. When you stop manifesting and you think, okay, what you originally started the journey on to be manifested for, it stops because you stop it. You feel what I'm saying? The shit changed my whole perspective, yo. I don't want to be wanted by a woman again. And I'm realizing like that's why my relationships they have been like women, they want me. They're not manifesting me. And I know they're not manifesting me because it's like, you're not in the same position that I am in. And it's not necessarily in the financial scope. It's not necessarily in like, there's a full gamut of mind, body, and soul. There's a full totality that has to be. I have not reached her yet. I'm still looking. I could have reached her now. We could be like, but right now I'm being manifested. And that's greater than being wanted. That's greater than being wanted. Do you feel what I'm saying? But I'm being manifested according to my own personal manifestations. You feel what I'm saying? That's a lot of part of where people find stagnant relationships. You're manifesting something who doesn't want to be manifested. So you get with this man or you get with this woman and you like, I want to pour into her. I want to make her do better. And she can't do better because she doesn't want to do better. He doesn't want to do better. They don't want to manifest. They don't want to be a manifestor of themselves. They don't want to be in a manifesting phase, but you're trying to be their manifestor. And you wonder why it doesn't work. So now you have to be extra hands-on. You have to put on to them because you're trying to force manifestation. You can't. You can't. You have to continue to manifest the things that you want. And then you have to continue to acknowledge being manifested, you know? And you can't be wanted by what you think you manifested. Some things are just stepping stones. Some things are just redirecting pieces. Some things are pieces that say, hey, you ain't supposed to be here. Let me show you. Eliminate this type. You feel me? Eliminate this type. This ain't your type. You're not even supposed to be attracted to this motherfucker. Leave him alone. You feel me? But you have to be able to see it, you know? So that was a very awakening moment. That was an aha moment for me. Because now I realize why women that want me, I just didn't want. I had been so used to women that wanted me and shit, and then it ended up like I don't have to put in work for women who want me. I know that sounds so fucked up, but it's the reality. I don't have to work for women who want me. And this is not any funny shit, but this is experience. Anybody that I've ever met in my life, you know, who has told me stories about somebody who wanted them, they didn't have to put in any work to have that person. They didn't have to change. They didn't have to grow. They didn't have to develop. They didn't have to do shit for this person. But the person still wanted them. You feel what I'm saying? But that's kind of a double-edged sword because they want you as they see you right then. That can be stagnant. That can cause you to be stagnant. You feel me? I know you talk about high school sweethearts and all the time. And, you know, I had a couple high school sweethearts. They're still high school sweethearts. They have not grown from the time I known them in high school. I have. That would not have been a successful relationship. But I was, you know, they wanted me. I didn't have to do no work. I had to send them good morning text. Send them good morning text and fuck them good. That's no challenge. I don't want that shit anymore. I don't want that shit anymore. But a woman who's manifesting me, sistering, a man who's manifesting you, you're going to put in work. You feel me? And that's one of the things that I've learned that from women. And understanding this now, not wanting to be wanted, I learned that from women who would say, I just want to be wanted. Because I look at when they're wanted, a lot of the things that they put up with and tolerate. You feel me? And when I started to see that, you're being manifested right now and you don't want to grow. Like the homegirl that I talk about all the time who had that $1 billion idea. You feel me? She wanted to be wanted. She didn't want to be manifested. Because that idea would have came into this world fucking with somebody like me. You feel me? But she didn't want that. She just wanted to be wanted. She wanted to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I've learned just to reach a level deeper than that. I don't want to be wanted anymore. Like that flattery shit, telling me I'm handsome, telling me I'm fine, telling me I'm so intelligent, telling me how my intelligence make your pussy thrive and shit. I've heard a lot of crazy shit. You feel me? I've heard a lot of crazy shit, you know. It don't do nothing for me. And I was realizing, like, why doesn't it do anything for me? Like, what the fuck? Like, you feel me? Am I really just not supposed to be dating anymore? Am I just gonna drift off into sagehood and just be, a monk and shit? Nah. The reality is that I don't want to be wanted anymore. I want to be manifested. And when I stepped into the realm of being a manifestor myself, manifesting things in life, it made it more of a desire. I want something to manifest me because you're not fucking me up. You're not going to fuck up your manifestations. I don't fuck up my manifestations. I don't. I make sure these bitches work and they're in full fluent. They're in full motion. They're solid. They're not going anywhere. So imagine what's going to happen if somebody's manifesting you. You dig what I'm saying? I realized that, like, that's that divine alignment. I don't play around with my manifestations. I don't play around with the things that I'm going to manifest. When I really want something, I'm really going for it, I'm going to put in the work to make sure that it stays when it comes to me. You feel me? I can't just want it. I manifest the shit. So how much more when I cross somebody who's manifested me, they're going to put in the work. They're not going to fuck me over. They're not going to play me. All that insecurity shit, the trust issue shit, that shit goes out of the window for me. I don't have to feel it. Because you manifested me. You don't just want me. You manifested me. That's a whole different level of connection, bro. Sis, when a motherfucker manifests you, we got to get above this elevation. We have to elevate above being wanted all the time. I just want to be wanted. Because when you start to tap into wanting to be manifested, trust me, you're going to start getting better. Like, you're going to start to do a lot of inner work. That shadow work and all of the shit, it's going to start to dissipate, and you're going to start to change, and you're going to start to see the right type of men that you're supposed to be with. You feel me? The right type of women that you're supposed to be with, because you're no longer wanted. You no longer have to do things to be wanted. They manifested you. They fucking manifested you. Do you understand the capacity for that? If you understand, and that understanding that battle, it helps your manifestations become better. You feel me? Knowing that somebody's manifesting me and knowing how great I'm becoming shows me how much detail I need to put into my manifestations, how much intricacy I have to, and how much attention I have to put in my manifestations. I can't just want something. I talk about the difference between an entrepreneur and a wantrepreneur. Same shit. I want to be an entrepreneur, but what are you doing to be an entrepreneur? You just want to be. You feel me? Entrepreneurs are manifestors. They're alchemists. You feel what I'm saying? It's different. I don't just want to be. And a lot of people that I just want money and I don't want to work for nobody. That shit sounds good, but what are you manifesting for yourself for that to be a reality? You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to be wanted anymore. I don't. Damn. It's today that I finally realized that shit, why the relationships and shit wasn't like those women wanted me, but they didn't manifest me. They didn't manifest me because they were not in a position to where our lives coalesced and coincide. I don't know why the fuck I keep saying coalesce. I don't like our lives coincided enough to where it's like you had already put in the previous work. You feel me? You had already put in the previous work because you knew what it take to keep this manifestation that you're manifesting. You don't have to, when you want something, you don't put in work for it. Not the work to keep it, just to have it. But when you've manifested that shit, it ain't going anywhere. You feel me? You no longer, you don't have to seduce it. You don't have to tempt it. You don't have to manipulate it. You don't have to do, like, all of these things dissipate when I understand that somebody's manifested me. Not that they want me. When they want me, they want attention. They want to make me not see anything else. They like, no, somebody who's manifested me, they ain't going nowhere. They know I ain't going nowhere. They know, but they know why. You feel what I'm saying? They know why. They know I don't just want them. They don't have to hear me tell them that, like, I don't have to hear them tell them, oh, yo, tell me how you feel about me. Tell me that you care. I don't need to know. You manifested me. I know what the fuck you feel. You're not fucking this shit up. But then you have to also understand that, you can say that some people would have, okay, well, there are people who fuck up their manifestations. No, they don't. They fuck up their wants. They fuck up their wants because now you have to gauge, and now this is where the internal reflection comes in, because now you have to understand, do you fuck up your manifestations? Because if you're fucking up your manifestations, your manifestor is going to fuck you up. It's mirrors, reflections, reciprocity, whatever you want to call the shit, resonance. All of that shit goes hand in hand. We can use all these woke words and these rhetoric and shit, but do we really understand the gamut of what we're talking about? You feel me? And so these things are now showing me different things. I don't fuck up my manifestations. I don't. Therefore, my reflection ain't gonna fuck up their manifestation. Their manifestation is gonna be me. That's why I was always wondering, like, why would I never, when I actually got into a relationship, I manifested that. Why didn't I fuck up? Why didn't I cheat? Why wasn't I tempted? Why did I still curve women on the side and then, you know what I mean? But I'm dealing with a woman who couldn't believe that, like, what about this chick? What about that chick? No, no, I manifested you. I didn't just want you, but you wanted me to want you. You didn't want to be manifested. You wanted to be wanted. That's why when you were doing manifesting things, you couldn't keep up with the pace. You kind of gave up over time. You feel me? Ask yourself that. Reevaluate your relationships. Were you wanted or were you manifested? You feel me? Look at your relationships going forward from this point forward. Do you want to be wanted or do you want to be manifested? You feel me? What's it going to require? You feel me? How are you as a manifester? How are you at manifesting? Are your manifestations solid? Do you guys constantly have to revisit them and constantly have to put in work to make them more solidified, more structured? Or are you just winging it? Or do you just want shit? And then you give up if the shit don't go your way? You feel me? Nah. You feel me? You got to do more than be wanted. So I said that to say this like that. That's an epiphany. This episode is really more an epiphany for me. I hope y'all got nuggets out of it, but this is really just a aha moment for me. You feel me? I don't want to be wanted anymore. That's why I'm not even attracted to women who want me. I'm attracted to women who manifested me, and I was completely overlooking that. Because these women weren't catering to my ego. These women weren't catering to that, and I didn't know how to deal with that shit. You feel what I'm saying? You'll know when somebody's manifesting you because it seems like, damn, everything fucking aligns. Everything is damn near perfect. Why? And everything fits into my life the way I need it to fit into my life. That's a manifestation. That's a manifestation. We need to start manifesting relationships again. Manifesting the people that we want to be with. And respect the fact that something and somebody is manifesting us and not just wanting us. You can't be a manifester involving yourself with somebody who is just a wanter. I finally want to get a relationship right. Why can't I get it right? I just want it because you're not manifesting a relationship. You're wanting one. You're not manifesting a wife. You're not manifesting a husband. You're wanting one. And you wonder why it doesn't work. And people be like, yo, how can, you can have been with somebody for 3 years and you can be with somebody for 10 years and they weren't ready to commit, but then you can be with somebody for 2 weeks and it's ready. It's like, because they manifested you and you manifested them and everything aligned accordingly, but you didn't understand that you were being manifested and you just wanted to be wanted. You feel me? When I look at the woman who we couldn't work, and it was just like, when we first met, it was like, she told me, she was like, I need a man who's going to have patience with me while I heal. I was like, cool. I got business shit that I got to finish. You take your time to heal and get together. By the time you've done all of your shadow work and your inner work, and you really consistently, you truly done what you were supposed to do, and I finished the shit that I'm supposed to do, we will be on point for each other. That was a manifestation. But she stopped manifesting it. She just wanted that. You know what I'm saying? It was like, that time came at the end of the year. I reached my time. I reached the goal that I said I was going to, that I told her she wasn't there yet. She never took the time because she wanted to be wanted. She didn't want to be manifested. It's different. Stop looking for people who want to be wanted. Start looking for people who want to be manifested. But that means you have to be a manifester yourself. You have to be a true manifester. You have to be strategic in the shit that you do. You can't have those moments of, oh, I don't feel like I'm going to cut corners. I'm going to do this. No. Everything has to align accordingly. Because the way in which you manifest is the way in which you're going to be manifested. This is deep. This shit is deep. Damn, this shit is deep. This shit just really blew my own mind. No wonder my shits don't work. No wonder my shits was just like And I couldn't find that balance because it was women that wanted me. It wasn't women that were manifesting me. It's different. It was women who admire, and keep this in mind. Somebody admiring your manifestations is not the same as somebody who manifested you. That's a part of being wanted when they admire your manifestations. Watch that shit. Watch that shit. Ego boosting. You know, they're wanting your manifestations. They're admiring your manifestations and all of the things that you have become, but they didn't manifest you. They want what you've manifested. God damn. This is shit gonna turn into a whole nother podcast. I'm gonna stop right there, y'all. You feel me? Be sure to kiss your babies. First off, go make sure you follow me on Instagram _just_seen_. Be sure to check out my website at IamJustSeen.com. You get all things that are just seen. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And when your kids get to a point of talking to women, talking to men, you know, having that dating phase or whatever the case may be, don't teach them to want somebody. Start teaching them early what it feels like and what it is to be manifested. You feel what I'm saying? When people can make you better, when the circumstance is making you better without you even being in the presence for it, when it's just naturally like, and it's not like you're doing it in light of that person. It's just a natural thing that's already aligning with the things that you want to do that bring out, like, start to plant the seeds in that. Like, especially our girls. We need to stop teaching our girls how to be wanted and teach them how to be manifested. And for our boys, we need to stop teaching them how to want women and manifest them. Yeah, because that's where the problem is coming in. You feel me? Because now this is where you get the Instagram models. This is where you get these motherfuckers going under the knife of surgery because they want to be wanted. They don't want to be manifested. Oh, that is a perfect fucking example. Wanting to be wanted is being wanted is like the Instagram models to get the surgery. They get the titties, they get the ass, they get the lips, they get all of that shit. You feel me? I'm not going to use the lips and shit. I'm going to stop it there. They get the titties, they get the ass, they get all this fake shit on them. They want to be wanted. You feel me? The women that want to be manifested, they're in the gym hitting squats. They're doing crunches. They're doing sit-ups. You feel what I'm saying? They working their bodies out. They keeping themselves on point. They are being manifested. You feel me? Because simultaneously, let's say they're doing it for let's say they understand that the man that is manifesting them wants a woman with a good body, a nice body. You feel me? Do they accept the being manifested part and they take their ass to the gym, they go put in that motherfucking work and they do what they're supposed to do? Or do they just want to be wanted? I can go take the shortcut, go to Dr. Miami, get some ass and shit. Now I'm on social media getting gawked over. You feel what I'm saying? It's different because the women that want to be wanted, I ain't gonna say they're easy, but it's easier to connect with them. You feel what I'm saying? To connect with the manifested woman, the woman who has manifested that body, you feel what I'm saying? You have to be you have to be in shape. You have to have these things going for you. I don't have to be none of that shit. I could be a dope boy with a 8th grade reading level to get a motherfucker with a fat ass that went to the knife and some nice titties and shit. Like, nah, it's different. It's different. That's the same principle. That is the same principle. That is what it is. That is what the difference is between being wanted and manifested. When that man really manifests you, when that woman really manifests you, things within you are going to change for the permanent side, not for the temporary shell physical shit. When you want to be wanted, now you have to keep up with them. You got to continually go under the knife to get the shit. You got to continually go under the knife to have certain things to work. Like, think about that shit on a grander scale, because that's what it's all like. You feel me? Make sure your babies are aware of that shit. You know, make sure our sons are learning how to manifest women as opposed to wanting women. You feel me? Oh, I want her. She's so now I'm going to manifest the woman that I want. I'm going to manifest the woman that I want. I don't want, like, you feel me? I'm not just going to want her. You feel what I'm saying? And for the little girls out there, the little black girl magics out there, let them know to be manifested, not wanted. Teach them to be manifested and not wanted. That's a whole different pocket right there. You feel me? Whole different pocket. We'll change a whole generation just like that. Wow. Anyway, go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.